Hi guys, welcome back or welcome to Switch to Life, and today we're going to be ranking all of the Mario games. If you are a new Nintendo Switch owner, or you plan on getting a Nintendo Switch, or if you just watched the Mario movie which releases in less than 2 weeks from the time of recording this video, and you're like, hey, I want to play a Mario game, wait till the end or use the link in the description down below to see which Mario video game I think you should buy at the start of your Nintendo Switch life. Oh, and by the way, I will not be ranking video games from prior to the Nintendo Switch's life, meaning games that were ported to the Nintendo Switch from the Wii U, I will count those, but games from the Nintendo Switch Online library, I will not be counting those. Same thing with the arcade archives. But other than that, every Mario game is going to count on this list. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so our first game on the list is Minecraft. And the reason I'm ranking it as the last game, like my least favorite game, is simply the fact that I just don't like Minecraft in general. I get that it's one of the greatest games to hit the Nintendo Switch or any gaming industry of all time, but you know what? I just don't like Minecraft. But I can see the appeal of it, but the Mario mode of Minecraft, it just sucks. All you do is look around and explore, and while it is cool scenery, you don't actually do anything. You don't collect anything, you don't fight anything, nothing, which is why it is my least favorite game. Plus, the Mario characters don't even look like Mario characters. They just look like skins that you put on, which is kind of what they are, but still. The second game on this list is Mario Golf Super Rush, which in my opinion is kind of the worst of the sports games. But the main reason I'm ranking it so low on the list is because the game does include a story mode, but you don't get to play as any of the Mario characters. You play as a Mii. And while I like the idea of playing as Miis, the fact that you can't play as an actual Mario character in the story mode is what makes me hate this game so much. That, and I just didn't really enjoy it when I started playing. So, our next game on the list is Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. Now, I actually haven't really played the game that much, but from what I did play, it is really lackluster, especially if all you have in your house is carpet. If you have hard floors, then this game might work for you, but with carpet, it just slows down Mario to the point where you can never even come in first without some skilled or trick route or anything. Add that to the fact that you can't even play multiplayer with this game, unless, of course, you have a second cart, which means that you have to pay $200. That makes this the most expensive game on this list, and in my opinion, not worth the price. The next game on the list is Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020. Now, honestly, this is my first Mario and Sonic game. In fact, a lot of these games are the first time I've ever played a Mario game, except for a couple that I will mention later. But from what I can tell, this is one of the more lackluster of the Mario and Sonic games. I like the story mode and all, but I just don't really enjoy the mini games, and if you don't play with multiplayer a lot, which is the case for me, then this game isn't that fun once you do in fact beat the story mode. So, add that to the fact that there are much better games on this list where you can play multiplayer, and, well, you can understand why this game is ranked so low on the list. Next, we have Super Mario Maker 2, which, in my opinion, is really bad, especially if you don't have a Nintendo Switch Online account. If you do have an online account, then this game is really good. Not only can you play with a lot of people's creations, but a lot of people can enjoy your creations as well. But without online mode, you're stuck with the story mode, which isn't that great compared to the other story modes of other Mario 2D platformers. So, add that to the fact that you can only play with 2 players in this game, whereas in other Mario games you can play with up to 4, then this is definitely not a good game. Mario Tennis Aces. Now, this right here is a pretty good sports game. I enjoyed playing the story mode, but I didn't really like the tennis mechanics. I don't know. A majority of the time, I just spent trying to use this super technique thing. I forgot what it's actually called, but due to the fact that I ended up spamming the super technique, it wasn't that great of a gaming experience. So, you know. But the good news is you get a lot of characters, and it comes with the ability to play with up to 4 players. So there's that. But again, there are better multiplayer games out there. Our last Mario sports game on the list is Mario Strikers Battle League. I played the demo and I really enjoyed it, but from what I can tell, the fan reception of the overall game isn't that good. There's a sheer lack of content, and while they do make up for that with a lot of free updates, it's not worth the $60 price tag from what I can tell. And it's just, I don't know. Some people rank this as one of the worst Mario sports games of all time. But to that I say, I really enjoyed playing the demo, and I highly recommend you do before you go and purchase the game. In fact, a good strategy, play the demo before you purchase any game, unless of course there isn't a demo. WarioWare Get It Together. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't exactly played that much of this game. I literally got it 2 weeks before the making of this video. So I have been focused on other Mario games, trying to play those, and I never really got around to this one. But from what I can tell, not only was the fan reception of this game pretty good, but the gameplay seems really fun, and it seems like a great idea for a Mario Party sequel without actually being Mario Party. But again, I cannot give any honest opinions since I haven't played the game or the demo. So, just don't take my word for it. Speaking of Mario Party, let's talk about Mario Party Superstars. Now, this game was, it's really great, and it's really fun to play, but there is a better Mario Party game out there in the form of Super Mario Party, at least in my opinion. I don't know why, but apparently people hated Super Mario Party, but in my opinion, this game is worse, because you get 5 boards in this game, and all 5 of them are just repeats of boards from other Mario Party titles. And not even that, it's all from the first 3 Mario Parties. And add that to the fact that all 3 Mario Parties in their full N64 capacity are on the Nintendo Switch Online library, then yeah, this game is just literally saying you can play the first 3 games in high definition, but other than that, just go get Nintendo Switch Online. You can play all the boards and most of the mini games included in this game. So, Mario Party Superstars, it's pretty bad. Don't recommend it unless you are not really a fan of Super Mario Party, but again, that's just my honest opinion. Our next game on this list is Paper Mario: The Origami King. In fact, I don't know why it's ranking this low, because I love the story and I love the gameplay of this game. I don't really know. I don't have any bad things to say about this game other than the fact that it's not legit Mario. It's Paper Mario. But other than that, I love the story, I love the gameplay, and I loved to 100% this game. It was super fun, and I highly recommend you get this game, but there are better games out there that I would recommend first. Next on the list is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Now, this is a very fun and relaxing puzzle game, but the problem is it's just a puzzle game. It was so easy until I got to the final world, which is literally not even a final world. It's a special world. It's like those who are overachievers will enjoy playing this. But again, this game was so easy. I don't recommend it compared to other Mario games in this list. So yeah, this game, it's super fun. and super relaxing, but it's also super short, super easy, and I don't recommend it compared to the other games on this list. Coming from Ubisoft, however, we have Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Now, there are two Mario plus Rabbids games, Kingdom Battle and Sparks of Hope. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle is the first one, and Sparks of Hope only, it's better than, okay, I've played the demo, I haven't played the actual game, but from what I can tell from the reviews, the second game, Sparks of Hope, is better than Kingdom Battle. But that doesn't change the fact that Kingdom Battle was still super fun and super good, and honestly, if you haven't played Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, then I recommend that you do before you play Sparks of Hope, because there's a really great story, and unfortunately, the story is pretty essential to understanding the plot of Sparks of Hope. Unless, of course, you don't really mind asking yourself the question, how did the Rabbids get there? Now, as I've said before, I believe Super Mario Party is the better version of the Mario parties that we have on the Switch. Not only do you get a ton of characters and, that's pretty much it. You get a ton of characters and you get to custom dice for all of the characters. But the downside is that you only get 4 boards, but the good news is they are original boards, unlike with Mario Party Superstars, where they're just repeats of the first 3 games, and you can just play those boards in low-quality graphics on the Nintendo Switch Online library. So, there's that. Me and my family have a blast every time we turn on this game. But we don't go to it as much as the other games on this list, so let's move on. Next, we have Yoshi's Crafted World, which is our first 2D platformer on this list, and as you can tell, I think it's really good. It's not as good as Yoshi's Woolly World, but we don't really have access to that anymore, so there's that. I really enjoyed playing this game. It was really fun, and I loved the music, but again, the issue is there are better games out there for you to play, and while it is fun to play as Yoshi, you can do that in other Mario games too, so, there's that. Now we come to Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. As I've said, I have only played the demo, but from what I did play, it was really fun, and from what reviews have said, this game is better than the predecessor. But again, if you haven't played Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, I recommend you do before you play this one, simply because it has a great story. Well, both games have great stories. This one probably has a better one. But in order to understand how the game works, and well as how the Rabbids even got there, you need to play Kingdom Battle. One of the best parts about Sparks of Hope, however, is the fact that you get way more characters than what Kingdom Battle gave you, among them being Bowser. If you can't tell, Bowser is one of my favorite video game characters. In fact, he's my second favorite, only behind Spyro the Dragon, who I'm pretty sure most of you have never even heard of. Now, let's move on to the spookier side of things with Luigi's Mansion 3. This game, it was really fun to play through, and I loved it. And from what I can tell, so did everybody else who played it. The problem is, it's one of those games that I only pull out every Halloween, and you can't even beat the game in one night. You'd need an entire week at least, unless you're one of those gamers who stay up late to finish a game that should take you 20 to 30 hours. So, do with that what you will. One of the best parts about this game, however, is simply the fact that Luigi takes center stage, and he's the spotlight character, and you get to play with really fun and unique mechanics that you can't do in any other Mario game. Other than, of course, the Luigi's Mansion 1 and Luigi's Mansion 2, neither of which are available on Switch. So, from what I can tell, it looks like you don't need to play those games to understand what's going on, but it would be nice to look at some YouTube videos to understand where these characters are coming from, especially Polterpup and Professor Egad. But just know that Luigi has faced off against King Boo, and you'll be set to know who King Boo is. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you can actually play this game for the first time ever in co-op mode. Well, Maybe other than when Luigi's Mansion was released on the 3DS. But again, co-op mode where someone plays as Gooigi is super fun. And if you really want to know, you can actually play with up to 8 players in the mini-game section of this, known as the Scare Scraper. Unfortunately, the Scare Scraper is DLC, so, there's that. We now come to the A-listers. First off, we have Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This is one of the best games on the Nintendo Switch, simply because it's the biggest video game crossover in history. In fact, the story mode is super fun, and I loved playing through it. And you get to play as a lot of Mario characters, including, of course, Bowser. The fact that there are a lot of characters in this game means that this game, if you get it, is the door opener for a lot of other franchises. For instance, you get into this game because of Mario, but you see a lot of other characters and you're like, I wonder what games they're from. I wonder what their story is. Well, that was the loop I got sucked into, and now I have a lot of Zelda and Kirby games. But ignoring that fact, you can actually get a lot of fun experience because you get up to 8 players playing this game. And in all honesty, when I was in high school, this was the most played game in the school cafeteria whenever somebody brought a Nintendo Switch. So, this is a really fun multiplayer game, but it's a really great story mode, and you get to introduce to a lot of characters who are not only from the Mario franchise, but other franchises as well, both Nintendo and third party. Next on this list is Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, which is actually a really fun game for multiplayers and single player, and it's actually 2 games in one, New Super Mario Bros. U and New Super Luigi U, because of the year of Luigi. But anyway, this game was super fun to play through, both to 100% and to just play through with friends and on your own. And it's also a really great game if you just watch the Mario movie, because this is the game that a lot of power-ups from the Mario movie are based on. And it's literally the essence of what Mario is. I recommend that you get this game just to figure out what the main gameplay of Mario even looks like, and it's really fun even if you don't think about it that way, and I highly recommend that you get this game. However, there is a better 2D platformer that I recommend you get first, and that is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Out of the 3 2D platformers that I'm mentioning on this list, and yes, I am including Yoshi's Crafted World, this one is my favorite because it not only comes with the most unique setting, the most unique gameplay, and it's also pretty much the only game where you can play as Donkey Kong as the main protagonist. Because any other time that you get to play as Donkey Kong, it's literally just a character appearance where you're playing a lot of characters, like Mario Sports, Mario Kart, Mario Party, and of course, Super Smash Bros. But this is Donkey Kong's very own game, and it's his only game on the Nintendo Switch. So if you're a fan of Donkey Kong like I am, then this is the game for you. Now, I just thought I would include this game on the list simply because it's worth including, and that is Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Now, the issue with this game is that it's no longer available on the Nintendo eShop, so you're going to have to buy a physical copy on the eBay or Amazon or somewhere, and it's probably going to be more expensive than the base price, which was $60. I actually bought this game when it first came out, and I have loved it. I loved playing through all 3 of the main 3D Mario platformers for the first time ever, but it's also the first time that I played Super Mario Galaxy despite owning a Wii when I was a kid. So there's that. Anyway, if you're wondering, my favorite games in this list is in this order. From least favorite, we have Super Mario Sunshine. I really like the story of Super Mario Sunshine, and I love the voice acting of this, but unfortunately, I didn't really enjoy the gameplay, and I definitely didn't enjoy Mario's moveset. I don't know why, but FLUDD was just super restrictive when it came to Mario's moveset. And then there was Mario 64. Despite the poor graphics, it was a really great game, and I really enjoyed it, and I loved the moveset that Mario had in it. But again, there wasn't that much of a story to it, but I loved the level design and I loved the music. The final game on the list is, of course, Super Mario Galaxy, which I'm pretty sure most people would agree that this was the best 3D Mario game to be made on the 3D All-Stars game. In fact, the only complaint that this 3D All-Stars compilation ever got was the fact that Super Mario Galaxy 2 was not included. So do with that what you will. But again, you can't find the game on the eShop, you have to purchase it on eBay or something. Now we come to the final 3 games, which in my opinion are the go-to Mario games. And they are as follows. In third place, we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. This is a really fun game, not only in single player, online mode, but especially multiplayer. That is where this game really shines, and this is by far the best multiplayer game on the Nintendo Switch of all time, even though it was originally made for the Wii U. And there it comes with the bonus. Not only does it come with 48 tracks from the Wii U, but if you spend an additional $25 or Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion Pass account, which we will talk about at a later point in the video, you get the Booster Course Pass, which includes an additional 48 courses. That is 98 courses in total, plus 6 additional characters, only one of whom has been revealed so far, and that's Birdo. But let's move on to our second game, which is Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Now, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury is, in my opinion, the best port on the Nintendo Switch. And honestly, it also might just come with one of the best 3D games of all time, that being Bowser's Fury. And well, okay, Bowser's Fury is super short, so where the game really shines is 3D World. Not only do you get a really fun and super long experience of playing through a bunch of 2D levels in 3D perspective, but you get to play it with up to 4 players, and you get to play 5 characters, one of whom you have to unlock, and I will not give a spoiler in this video, but you know. Anyway, again, 4 players, and this is one of the few Mario games where you can actually do co-op mode and have it still be a really fun experience and cool story. Plus, for the first time ever, well, maybe not the first time ever, but for the first time on the Nintendo Switch, Peach is a playable character in a mainline Mario game. And that is really fun and cool to me. But where the game really shines, in my opinion, is Bowser's Fury. In my opinion, Bowser's Fury is the best Mario 3D platformer of all time. Every time I play it, it is super fun, and, well, the only downside is it's also super short. I can usually play it and 100% it in the space of 3 hours. So, there's that. But, again, 3D World and Bowser's Fury, this is a must-have game, especially if you are new to Mario and you want an experience where you can play with 4 friends. But again, there is one final game that is better and takes the cake of all Mario games. And it has to go to Super Mario Odyssey, which is, in my opinion, the best 3D Mario game other than Bowser's Fury, but, you know, for the price of $60, it is the best 3D Mario game. Because, well, even though it's single player, I can imagine that everybody who gets this game and plays it, even if they don't finish it, can imagine it was still a fun experience. And the story is really unique, even if it's still simplistic. But it's really more about the platforming and the 3D aspect of this game. And not to mention all of the gameplay mechanics you can have with Cappy. They are really fun, and this just makes for the best gaming experience that Mario has ever had, in my honest opinion. But with that out of the way, now it's time to discuss the new Nintendo Switch owners. Basically, if you plan on getting a Nintendo Switch, or if you just got a Nintendo Switch and are trying to figure out what game you should get, I recommend you stick with one of these 3 games: Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, Super Mario Odyssey, or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. The reason I say this is because, well, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the #1 multiplayer game on the Nintendo Switch. Super Mario 3D World is a really fun gaming experience, but it still allows for multiplayer, and Bowser's Fury is, in my opinion, the best Mario 3D game on the Switch. But unfortunately, the right of best game has to go to Odyssey, simply because Odyssey is just a really big game, and it's a really fun 3D platformer, and the gameplay mechanics are so unique, and I just hope that you guys just consider getting the game, because everyone I've seen who actually plays it enjoys it. Now I need to talk about those of you guys who have never gotten a Nintendo Switch. If you're planning on getting a Nintendo Switch, let's talk about which version you should get. First off, I think you should hold off on getting a Switch until Nintendo reveals the next console, which in my opinion, will most likely be a superior Switch that plays games that the first 3 Switches can't. But if you don't feel like waiting, then here are the Switches that you have an option of getting: the Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Switch Lite, and the Nintendo Switch OLED. Whatever you do, do not get the Nintendo Switch Lite unless you really hate playing in TV mode and you really hate playing in multiplayer. Because if you enjoy single playing games on the go, then the Switch Lite is for you. But just know that the $100 price knockoff, it's not worth it if you can't play the game in TV mode and you want to play the game in TV mode. So I suggest you stick with the Nintendo Switch for $300 or the Nintendo Switch OLED with $350. The OLED comes with better graphics on the go, but if you're just going to play in TV mode a majority of the time, then I suggest you stick with the normal Nintendo Switch. Now, there are some other investments that I think you should make. For one, additional controllers, especially a Pro Controller. Even though it will be $70, a Pro Controller is going to be the best investment other than actually getting a Nintendo Switch that you can ever make. One of the main reasons for this is just the fact of Joy-Con drift. It is a problem that all Nintendo Switch consoles suffer from. No matter what kind of Joy-Con you get, eventually the thumbsticks will break and it will cause your character, even if you aren't touching the controller, to move around in a certain direction you don't want them to go in, which the Pro Controller has never actually suffered from. So the Pro Controller is definitely my preferred controller, and I highly recommend that you get it if you get a normal or OLED Nintendo Switch. Oh, and if you get a Nintendo Switch Lite, that also suffers from Joy-Con drift. And unfortunately, once that happens, your Switch is dead. You can't play it anymore, and you can't replace the controller. So there's that. Along with this, you'll also need the $50 Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pass, which comes with a lot of content, including online play, cloud save data, and a bunch of classic online library, which includes NES, SNES, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Nintendo 64, and Sega Genesis Online. Add that to the fact that with the expansion pass, you get the Booster Course Pass for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the Octo Expansion Pass for Splatoon 2, and the Animal Crossing New Horizons DLC. I mean, $50 a year, it's worth it. Get the expansion pass if you're going to get Nintendo Switch Online, unless, of course, you don't plan on ever playing the Switch that often. So that's a pretty big haul you're asking for. That's $300 for a Nintendo Switch Classic version, $50 for the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pass, the Nintendo Switch Pro controller for $70, along with whatever other controllers that you're looking at, and finally a $60 game that will make it all worth it. And you're looking at a price of $480, which is almost $500. If that doesn't deter you, then let this. The Nintendo Switch 2 is going to come out very soon, and with it, probably a bunch of exclusive things that you can't get with the first 3 Nintendo Switches. So I suggest holding off until those come out. I unfortunately did not, because I bought my Nintendo Switch back in 2018, but, well, there you go. And with that, we have reached the end of the video. What do you guys think? What is the best Mario game on the Nintendo Switch? Do you agree with my rankings, or do you want to make your own personal rankings? Go in the comments and just talk about it. And if you have never played a Nintendo Switch game, what game are you thinking of getting, and is it anything from this list? I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and that you're all staying safe out there. Until next time, bye.